Ibrahim, good to see you and thanks for your time. Quickly tell us what this means. Economic projections indicate that DR Congo's addition will boost EAC's GDP by $50 billion. So in your assessment, what are the economic benefits of this entry?
Thank you, Sulai. First of all, I really want to congratulate my Congolese friends, and of course, fellow Africans. This is a huge win for advocates of free trade and open borders. So it's a huge promise for not only DRC but EAC as well. Remember, the DRC has a population of close to 90 million people. So you bring that into the Eastern African market, it's going to be an expanded market, not only for Burundi, Uganda, or the likes of Rwanda, but the entirety of the 7 member states. And of course, for a country like DRC, which has been on quite promising development trajectory in the last decade, this is going to be a game changer. I remember, Asula, in 2014, I think DRC's total export earning was about maybe 8.03 or 04 billion dollars. And we saw that in 2019, it actually went up to about $8.16 billion. That's about $132 million increase within five years. So now, if you open the DRC to the EAC market, it means the export earning for a country like DRC is going to really skyrocket. And I'm really thoroughly happy for the government, but also for the people that trade across borders from Burundi to Uganda across DRC as well.
So, Ibrahim, would you say now, going by your analysis, that DR Congo's entry already has the potential to strengthen integration, not I think within the region and even beyond?
Certainly it does, because we've seen the strong emphasis on the economic dividends of this integration, but also the political aspect of it, the security aspect of it. Remember, this is a region that is pretty much getting engulfed by insurgent crisis, banditry to some extent, civil unrest. And sometimes it actually takes concerted effort to solve this cross-border crisis. And it's much more easier for a country or for multiple countries to come together and address a collective problem if they have economic ties, if they have cultural ties, or things that actually bring them together beyond politics, beyond security. So the DRC joining this community, it would be a huge win for security challenge in that region.
One wonders what the fate of DR Congo in the economic community of Central African states will be. Where does this leave them in the bloc?
First, of course, it's going to come with a huge population, as I said. And already the DRC is an economic powerhouse. You want to say, okay, it's perhaps the most corrupt country on the continent to some extent, is the most resourcefully blessed, but it's also earning some meager amount of money compared to what it could possibly be earning. But looking at the positive side of things, first of all, this is a country that has about 80% of its population in poverty. About 72 million of these people are impoverished. And the unemployment crisis, last year due to COVID, threw about 4 million people into poverty, into unemployment. So in terms of poverty, in terms of unemployment, I think the one recurring remedy for these two problems, according to economic history, has often been trade, open trade, the ability to trade and have more import and export earning, but also for your people, those impoverished people, those affected by COVID-19, to trade with their friends or their colleagues across the border. So of course, it's going to really affect the population dynamics of DR Congo, but also give more room for employment and just general factors that rub off the macroeconomic outlook of the country itself. This is very promising in that regard.
Well, as DR Congo enjoys its new status, the attention of Somalia comes into play, a country in east of Africa that has been appealing for admittance to the same bloc for years. Do you think DR Congo's successful entry will reignite their call?
Of course. As much as I want to consider that there are politics going on, the DEAC is pretty much a very exclusive and kind of a little bit prestigious community compared to many others across the continent and elsewhere. Remember, even I think it was Somalia, one of those countries, perhaps Sudan. I think it was the actual Sudan that applied and got rejected based on the fact that it didn't share a physical border with any of those 6 original members. And countries like Somalia, like Zambia, like Malawi, and others that are still applying that really want to be part of this East Africa community, I think they actually do have a chance. With Uhuru Kenyatta in the chairmanship position, I think we've seen more appetite to actually open up the EAC to more ideas, to more partners, even if it's not core member states, but other kind of sub partnerships, like partnering with European countries and or West African countries as well. So I think it's actually a good time for countries like Somalia or Zambia to reinforce their intention to join the community. But I also do not think physical border should be a determinant for who becomes a part of an African economic community. And I think not only will Somalia benefit from joining, it's also going to benefit the EAC itself.
Now, Ibrahim, let's touch on this before I let you go. Felix Tshisekedi. Now, that's an African leader, a lot of people, have this focus on. He's been able to change the course of his country's development. So how would you rate, his ascension to power since after he took over from Joseph Kabila in 2019?
I mean, quite honest, I've always thought Tshisekedi was going to be like a puppet of Kabila and whatnot. It's only going to dance to the tune of the ruling party. But exclude the political part of it. Of course, those are important issues going on in the political space in the DRC. But the economic part of it, I mean, Tshisekedi is really improving in a lot of regard. Is intent to keep driving the initial proposal that was sent to the EAC in 2019 to make sure it actually becomes a reality. It's a huge promise. He knows it's going to be an enormous advantage to his country's economic prospects. And apart from the economic part, I also think it has not been so controversial as at least the last leader. And of course, it's still not the least corrupt country on the continent. But I think we're also seeing some reforms that could be pointing in the direction of an intentional desire to cut corruption, which is of course a big bane to the DRC's economic status. But I think overall, not including the politics, not including maybe human rights and other critical aspects, just basing it off on the economic side of things, I think you want to give Tshisekedi some appreciation in this regard.
Well, Ibrahim Anoba, many thanks for unpacking this for us.
Anytime, July.